What would you do if you stumbled upon $13 million buried beneath the desert sand? For a group of diamond miners in Namibia, that unbelievable moment became real. What started as an ordinary day in 2008 turned into one of the greatest archaeological discoveries ever. A centuries-old shipwreck filled with gold, mystery, and a story lost to time. It happened near the coastal mining town of Aranyamon, where workers were digging through the sand as usual, searching for diamonds hidden beneath the surface. But that day, they began to notice something strange. Instead of the usual gravel and rock, they uncovered chunks of metal, splintered wood, and even what looked like pieces of bronze pipes. None of it made sense. They weren't miners' tools, and they definitely weren't diamond deposits. So, puzzled and curious, they called in an archaeologist to investigate. When the expert arrived, it didn't take long before he realized that this was no ordinary find. Scattered across the sand were all kinds of ancient-looking objects: elephant tusks, old cannons, wooden planks, and fragments of tools and weapons. Slowly, the truth began to reveal itself. They had uncovered a shipwreck. But what no one yet realized was that this wasn't just any sunken ship. It was one of the most valuable shipwrecks ever discovered, a lost Portuguese trading vessel from more than 500 years ago, carrying a fortune in gold and goods. To understand how this incredible treasure ended up buried in the Namibian desert, we have to travel back in time to the year 1533. Portugal was one of the world's most powerful nations, ruling the seas and dominating global trade. The Portuguese were constantly sailing to India and Asia in search of spices like cinnamon, black pepper, and cloves, luxuries that were rare and worth a fortune in Europe. To handle these long and dangerous journeys, Portuguese shipbuilders had designed a new generation of vessels that were stronger, faster, and built to carry enormous cargoes across vast distances. On March 7th of that year, a magnificent new ship set sail from Lisbon, Portugal's capital, heading toward western India. It was a bright spring day, and the huge vessel, draped with colorful flags and tall sails, glided proudly down the Tagus River into the Atlantic Ocean. It was part of a fleet sailing along one of Portugal's most important trade routes. The journey to India was treacherous, but the rewards were great. Spices, precious metals, and ivory awaited at the other end. But somewhere along that long voyage, tragedy struck. The ship vanished without a trace. It never reached India, and the Portuguese court eventually gave up hope. No one knew what happened to the hundreds of sailors on board or the precious cargo it carried. For over 5 centuries, the mystery of the lost vessel remained unsolved until those miners in Namibia stumbled upon its remains. During the excavation, archaeologists found something that made their jaws drop. Beneath the sand, buried under centuries of sediment, was a glittering pile of gold coins, Spanish and Portuguese ducats, still shining as if they had been minted yesterday. The team filled their hats with coins, weighing over 25 pounds in total. The estimated value of the treasure? More than $13 million. But that wasn't all. The ship had been carrying ivory tusks, tin, and over 40,000 pounds of copper ingots. Those heavy copper bars turned out to be one of the reasons the wreck was so well preserved. Because the copper was so dense, it dragged the ship's remains deep beneath the ocean and later under the coastal sands. Over time, the copper also acted as a kind of natural protector. Its chemical properties prevented marine organisms from eating away the wooden structure and cargo. Without it, centuries of waves, storms, and decay would have destroyed everything. Instead, the treasure remained almost untouched, waiting for its rediscovery half a millennium later. Experts soon realized that all the evidence pointed toward this being the missing Portuguese ship lost in the early 1500s. Old records even mentioned that between 1525 and 1600, 21 Portuguese ships disappeared while sailing to India, and one of them was said to have sunk near the coast of modern-day Namibia, not far from the Cape of Good Hope. It was a perfect match. But how did it sink? And why was it so close to the Namibian coast, a region sailors knew was dangerous for its strong winds, swirling fog, and treacherous shallows? Historians pieced together a likely story. About 4 months after leaving Lisbon, the fleet was struck by a massive storm near the southern tip of Africa. Heavy winds and monstrous waves scattered the ships in all directions. The captain of this particular vessel may have realized that his ship was too damaged and overloaded to survive the storm. In a desperate attempt to save his crew and cargo, he could have steered toward the coast, trying to run the ship aground. But the plan failed. As the vessel neared the shore, it hit an underwater rock. The force tore open the hull, and as waves pounded it, the ship rolled over and began to break apart. The gold coins, copper ingots, and ivory tusks fell through the shattered decks and sank into the seabed, where they were quickly buried under layers of sand. A massive section of the hull broke away, trapping the treasure beneath it, protecting it for centuries from the violent tides that swept the Namibian coast. But what about the people on board? Archaeologists found only a few human remains, some toe bones, and very few personal belongings. That suggests that many of the sailors might have made it ashore alive. However, reaching land didn't mean they were safe. The Namibian coast is one of the harshest places on Earth, a barren desert stretching for hundreds of miles, with no villages, no fresh water, and no chance of rescue. It was winter, the temperatures were freezing, and the winds were fierce. Even if they survived the shipwreck, it's likely that few, if any, survived the desert afterward. Over time, the sea receded slightly, and the sands of the Namib Desert covered the remains. The ship, along with its priceless cargo, slipped quietly out of history, hidden beneath the earth for nearly 5 centuries, until 2008, when a few surprised diamond miners brought it back into the light. Once researchers confirmed what they had found, the Namibian government quickly protected the site. Archaeologists and historians from around the world joined in, using advanced technology to scan and record every inch of the wreck. They created 3-dimensional models, photographed the artifacts, and carefully documented everything they uncovered. Over 40 tons of cargo were recovered, including lead, tin, textiles, and even early navigational instruments. Each artifact told a piece of the story, of global trade, of exploration, and of human ambition. And of course, everyone wanted to know one thing: who gets to keep the treasure? By Namibian law, all shipwrecks discovered in the country belonged to the state. That meant every single coin, artifact, and relic was handed over to the Namibian government. But international law complicates things when it comes to ships that belong to other nations. Technically, since the wrecked vessel was a state-owned Portuguese ship, all of its contents could have been claimed by Portugal. Yet in a rare and gracious decision, the Portuguese government decided to let Namibia keep the entire treasure, calling the discovery a shared piece of history between the two countries. Today, many of the artifacts are preserved in Namibia's museums, where visitors can see them up close, a glittering glimpse into the age of exploration. The gold coins still shine as brightly as they did when they left Lisbon nearly 500 years ago. The cannons, tools, and cargo tell the story of a time when explorers risked their lives to connect continents, trade goods, and expand the known world. What began as a day of digging for diamonds turned into a moment that rewrote history. The desert had guarded the ship's secret for centuries, preserving not just its treasure, but also a window into the past. The discovery of the Namibian shipwreck stands as a reminder of how much of history remains buried, waiting for chance or fate to bring it back into the world. And who knows, maybe there are still other lost ships, treasures, and mysteries hidden beneath the sands, waiting to be found. If you enjoyed this incredible story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss more mind-blowing discoveries from history's hidden corners.